The word disability has the word ability inside it. Instead of focusing on the disability, focus on what you can do. And then gradually build on what you're able to do and figure out ways of doing things that you want to do. I went in for my first orthotic. It went from the hip to a foot plate. I asked the orthotist to promise me that it would help me, and he said he couldn't do that. And then I said, well, what are my chances then of getting better? And he said, not real good. And I said, but in your hands, what are my chances of getting better? And he said, you'd be the first. And that was extremely discouraging to me. But I'm here to tell you that being the first is not always bad. Alice Brown, I'm the inventor of In the Groove Knee Retrainer. It helped me get out of a wheelchair. I still use it occasionally, but very little compared to what I did before this, and I hope to help other people. We found that by restoring structure, we could restore function. And we found that instead of having to physically force it, what the In the Groove knee brace does is it triggers your own muscles to do the work and actually pull the bones back. And they normally do this in a normal individual. So we're not talking about anything that would cause pain. And it uses much less force than when you're trying to work against the muscles. Runners or jumpers or skiers or anybody that uses a lot more knee action.
I like to work out and lift weights, but I was always nervous a lot because my knee ached. It gave me the confidence and support I needed to keep exercising.
In the Groove has really allowed me to run the distance that I like and not feel the pain afterwards. I wear it while I run a few times a week and have found that my leg does not ache and my knee feels stronger because of it.
Before we went to market with this, my husband is a physician. We decided to test it on a few of his patients and see if they would do better with the knee brace. At the end of a 1-month trial, everyone purchased their brace rather than surrender it. And we figured we saved the insurance companies between $200,000 to $300,000 in testing that wasn't necessary, in physical therapy, medications, time off work, and just basically getting back to what they wanted to do right away instead of waiting. I was a trained fitter for orthopedic appliances back in the 70s, and I have 2 daughters with MS, so I'm very familiar with the medical supply industry, and I try very hard to help people find the appropriate ability aid that they can. Also accounts for $14 billion a year in knee replacements. Not all of these would be able to be stopped with this brace, but if this brace were used early on or early to midway in damage before it's irreversible, 1 to 2/3 of those could be prevented or delayed. And in the study that my husband did, 5 of us needed knee replacements before we were entered into the study. Only 2 of those 5 have had the knee replacements, and that was done in 2005. 1 delayed 6 months till her vacation. The other delayed her knee replacement for a year until her retirement. Another case was a 13-year-old young gymnast.
Hi, I'm Jenna Johns, and I'm a gymnast. About 2 years ago, I started having some major knee issues. I had dozens of injuries in the legs, and I grew a lot, and the doctor told me that I had large Q angles, and I had patellofemoral syndrome, and he told me that I had to quit gymnastics. I had a number of shots to try and fix it. I had surgery, and it was just endless, and nothing would help me. After having the surgery, about a year later, I was just hoping to compete and just hoping to do the minimum requirements. And then I found In the Groove retraining knee brace, and everything changed. I was able to compete. Now I'm just really looking forward to next year.
There's several different things that I'm very interested in doing. One of them is I'd like to get a CE mark. We currently have sales to Canada, France, Australia, and Norway. And in order to promote sales to the different countries, we would need a CE mark, which is kind of like our UL laboratory signal that we have here in this country. We need also to have the information translated into different languages. We're looking at increasing stock of neoprene. Through R&D, we've come out with a universal brace, but it requires a specially formulated neoprene in order to make this. So we need to purchase enough stock so that we can go ahead and make these braces. We're also looking at bidding on several government contracts, and some of these require information and training and going out and presenting to people, and I would need some money to fund that. We're also looking at money to fund a carpal tunnel brace that I have ready to patent, but provisional patent can cost up to about $10,000, and I would like some money to go towards that so that we can go ahead and get the patent in the process. So I want to help other people. Life sets you back, but you've got to get back up and go for it.